Greetings, and welcome to A Year of Movies, a Planet Geek production. For this project, we are using the Ivan Walters reference book of 365 films to watch on the day they happened. Each day, we watch a movie associated with the date we are watching it on. And as it is the 15th of July, we are going to be watching Romeo and Juliet from 1968, directed by Franco Zeffirelli and starring Leonard Whiting. So out of the many interpretations of the Shakespearean play of Romeo and Juliet, this is probably one of two that most people would actually recognize as the definitive version of it. There would be the later on Baz Luhrmann from the late 90s with Leonardo DiCaprio, but this would be the other one that other people would recognize as the version that is most well known. This would be my first one that I had seen of pretty much any version of Romeo and Juliet, and to go, if memory serves me correctly, I actually watched this when I was in summer school for English one year when we did some Shakespeare, and the teacher at near the end of the month of classes showed us this movie, which was quite interesting to see the basically amount of nudity that was in this movie compared to what we had expected to be seeing. That being said, not only does this movie star Leonard Whiting, but it also stars Olivia Hussey, John McHenry, Milo O'Shea, Pat Haywood, Robert Stevens, Michael York, and Bruce Robinson. In the city of Verona, the Montagues and the Capulet families are perpetually feuding, with Romeo, played by Leonard Whiting, a handsome young Montague, disregards convention by attending a Capulet ball. He falls in love with the beautiful Juliet, played by Olivia Hussey, a Capulet. After a brief courtship, the two elope, creating even greater tension between the families. So this movie itself not only is visually stunning to watch because of the fact that it's actually filmed on location and there are no sets. They actually use interiors of existing buildings and whatnot where they're filming, which is fantastic. But something that rarely gets done for this particular story to begin with is your lead youthful roles are actually portrayed by actors that are very similar to the ages of the characters themselves. Now it is Shakespeare, so it is all the big long monologues and asides and fancy wordship play, which is fun to watch when you see on screen the actors basically striving to that role. And again, when you're dealing with this story, you definitely have theatrical actors to pull this role off in a very convincing manner. This probably would have been my first Olivia Hussey film that I saw. At the time, the next time I saw her would have been very shortly after that when I saw her in Black Christmas, which is the movie that I really grew to enjoy her work and all that. The costumes in this movie are just so fun. They're so colorful. They're so over the theatrical Shakespearean, which is great to see. The fight sequences are really cool. We were dealing with a lot of action going on in the particular scenes where it does. And again, it's the same script. It's the same story. We know basically how this movie turns out. And this is an enjoyable ride to follow along this journey. There are other versions that tell the story a little differently or try and package it in a different box and just doesn't seem to be as fulfilling as, in my opinion, this particular version. Now, we don't actually have an actual year that this movie takes place in, but we do know that the date is July 15th, and that is basically the first hour of this whole entire movie. From start to about almost the hour mark is taking place all in one day, which is the 15th of July, to almost forget that the movie itself is a 2 hour and 18-minute movie.
And when it came to the Academy Awards for that particular season, it actually ended up winning for Best Cinematography and Best Costume Design, and it got nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this particular episode and look off into the future to see what we're going to be watching for tomorrow, which is the 16th of July, and that is going to be Sarah's Key from 2010. So until next time, go see a movie.